It's top 25 college basketball in Buffalo, New York, as the 14th ranked UB Bulls welcome Southern Illinois into Alumni Arena. Hi everybody, I'm Paul Peck with former Bulls standout Will Regan. Will, it's the somewhat unusual second meeting of the season between two non-conference rivals. Home and home between the Bulls and the Salukis. First time they played, November 12th in Carbondale, Illinois. A 62-53 Buffalo win, but the reason it was that close and that tight was the play of Southern Illinois big man Kavion Pippen.
Kavion Pippen, big player for Southern Illinois. He's going to have to be a big player tonight. In the first matchup, he had 18 points, 5 rebounds on 8 of 12 shooting. Very consistent player on that defense, but he also had 2 blocks and 2 steals to help solidify that Southern Illinois defense and make it tough for the Bulls to score. Only 62 points in that matchup, the lowest on the season, and he's going to have a rebound game tonight with only 4 points in his previous game against Murray State. And
he will be counted on for a big game because for the third straight game, Southern Illinois will be without their scoring leader and rebounding leader Armon Fletcher, who remains suspended for a violation of team rules. So it'll be Pippen with Lloyd, Cook, McGill, and Bartley. On the Buffalo side, for the 8th time this season, they'll start this quintet of Bulls: Jordan, Massenberg, Harris, Graves, and McCray. C.J. Massenberg, one of only 2 players in the Mid-American Conference in the top 10 in points and rebounds. But Will, he only had 7 points in the first meeting between these two teams. Why, and what has to change?
That's a testament to Southern Illinois' defense. Again, the 62 points they were able to hold the Bulls in the first matchup is their lowest on the season, and the Bulls are going to have to get out and get stops, force turnovers, get out in transition, and attack the glass against the Southern Illinois team to get more opportunities to score and outpace Southern Illinois tonight. And they're going to continue to try and share the ball. Again, C.J. Massenberg, 7 points, but multiple players scored that night, but not a lot of scoring overall.
The Bulls' 14th ranking, up 3 spots from last week. Highest ranked Mid-American Conference team since 1994, and the first MAC team since 1975-76 to be ranked for 5 straight weeks, Will. Southern Illinois has lost their last 12 straight to ranked teams. Last time they knocked off a top 25 team, beat number 22 Wichita State back in 2013. Big crowd. Fired up crowd on hand at UB's Alumni Arena, and here we go. It's the Bulls and the Salukis. Southern Illinois will have the first possession as point guard Aaron Cook runs the show, and it's immediately the first turnover of the game. That was a problem in the first matchup.
Yeah, Southern Illinois is going to need to take care of the basketball tonight because the Bulls are going to play up-tempo and try and take advantage of those extra possessions.
It's a real battle of styles, Will. It's a Bulls team that wants to run, wants to be quick and aggressive against a Southern Illinois team that really likes to slow things down and plays really good defense. Montel McCray missing the 3 there. There's Barry Hinson. He's the head Saluki in his 7th year in Carbondale, 6th season in Carbondale. A 106-100 record there, but overall, a terrific overall record. As a matter of fact, 4th all time in Missouri Valley Conference wins is Barry Hinson. So each team has had an unsuccessful possession to get things going here, and again, it's just a little odd, Will, that these two teams kind of know each other a little better than non-conference teams would know each other from a previous meeting. And there's an offensive foul drawn by the master of the offensive fouls drawn, Devontae Jordan.
And that's something Cook should know here. Jordan did this multiple times in the first matchup, and he's just a phenomenal on-ball defender, can get his body in front of the driver. And you can see Cook almost knew that was going to happen, trying to show his hands, like he didn't push off or anything.
The captain of the charge, Devontae Jordan. And I'm sure the Bulls spent a lot of time. They had a whole week off before this game. McCray with the 3, drills it. Spent a lot of time figuring out what Southern Illinois did to them in the first game to hold them to those 62 points, which was their lowest output offensively of the season.
Yeah, and on the flip side, Southern Illinois is going to try and have done the same because they only had 53 points, which is not going to cut it at the Division I level with the up-tempo change that college basketball has seen in the past couple years.
Kavion Pippen on the board. He's going to be a fun one to watch in this game. And wait till Nick Perkins checks in. Pippen and Perkins are going to be really fun matchup. Jordan will drive the hoop, and he'll get called for the offensive foul. Nate Oates is the man in charge of the UB Bulls in his 4th year here in Amherst, New York. An outstanding 73-39 record, and what a great job Nate has done here to get these Bulls up to 14th in the country, highest ranking obviously ever in school history. And the nice drive to the hoop, but the nice rejection by Jeremy Harris, and the follow by Pippen.
It's a good job by Southern Illinois getting Pippen involved early, and also a good job by Pippen to be around the basketball and get those baskets.
Javon Graves with the 3 that will bounce up and over the backboard. And that will be a turnover. Graves coming off a career-high 19-point performance a week ago in the Bulls' last game, a win in Olean, New York at St. Bonaventure. Quick ball movement right now. Eric McGill dishes off to Aaron Cook. Look at Pippen coming way outside offensively. Marcus Barton thought about it. Shot clock down under 10. Not unexpected with Southern Illinois. Let's see what Cook will do. He'll feed Pippen. Corner 3. Beats the shot clock buzzer. What a follow-up dunk. Slammed home by Eric McGill.
That's good patience by Southern Illinois, not forcing the shot, getting a good look, and then following it up on the glass. But then C.J. Massenberg able to return the favor on his own right with the and one.
That smacked a little bit of CJ saying, all right, let's get going here. Or at least maybe him saying that to himself after a terrific basket there by McGill. Right back the other way. CJ's first shot of the game goes up and in. Sam Perkins. I've been doing that all year, calling him Sam Perkins. Nick Perkins. Maybe because I'm thinking about Pippen versus Perkins, and it's making me think of Scotty and Sam. Date myself, aren't I, Will?
I know who Pippen is.
3-point play completed by C.J. Massenberg.
But Nick Perkins is the guy to watch, and that matchup between Pippen and Perkins is going to be an important matchup here tonight, with the 2 big men being key focal points of their offense.
Montel McCray way outside guarding Lloyd. Look at the aggressive defense by Dante Carruthers, who's 22, is checked in for UB. And a good opportunity there on a good move by Cook to draw the foul.
That's a good job by Cook. That's the 2nd foul on Jordan, able to get him off his feet and then get into Jordan on that shot attempt to get to the free throw line.
That's kind of far away for the basket for Jordan to be giving up his 2nd foul there. So Aaron Cook will go to the free throw line, the junior from St. Louis, Missouri, and the Salukis' 2nd leading scorer. He had 11 points in the first meeting against UB. That was an interesting game at an interesting time back on November 12th, Will, because that was the 3 days after UB had knocked off West Virginia on the road, and earlier that day was when the Bulls debuted in the top 25. So it seemed ripe for the possibility of a letdown or maybe a distraction game for Buffalo, but they were able to kind of gut it out and get that 9-point win.
Yeah, it's a good job by UB. Carbondale is not an easy place to play on the road against a good team that, in their own right, had a good opening game against Kentucky.
Nice steal by McGill off the double team on Perkins, and then a mix-up between McGill and Cook and a turnover.
Yeah, you see Perkins not being strong with the ball down low, and then Southern Illinois, you got to take care of the ball. That's a great opportunity to get the lead here early in the game on the road, and you give the ball right back after all that hard work at the defensive end. 3rd
turnover of the game for Southern Illinois. The ball in the hands of freshman point guard Rondo Seguin for the first time. So is Trayvon Fagan, number 24. Jordan had to check out with the 2 fouls. Trying to feed Massenberg. It's recovered by Seguin. Rondo feeds the cutter. Carruthers with the bucket.
And if you're not familiar with this Buffalo team, they are deep. So just because Jordan went out, Seguin and Carruthers are also great guards on this team that have been able to lift up the load when they needed to.
So already the Bulls have played 8 different players. And on the flip side, only 9 active players today for Southern Illinois. Into the ball game is the big guy, 40. That's Teak Bowl, and he'll put the jumper up from way out, and he'll draw the foul on Montel McCray. Early on, the pace is slow. That favors the Salukis. It's an early 2-point lead back to Buffalo right after this break on ESPN+. Back in Buffalo, and a bit of a surprising score from down the thruway. Old Dominion beats 25th ranked Syracuse by 6. Syracuse just into the top 25 this week, and that's where the Bulls will head next, Will. They will play in the Carrier Dome against the Orange on Tuesday night in a highly anticipated game for Buffalo this season. Yeah, it won't take anything away from that game. The Bulls are going to be excited to play, but I'm sure they were chomping at the bit to knock off a top 25 team right down the thruway. Yeah, and again, this is a big week coming up for UB with some prove-it games against what at the time are 2 ranked teams in Syracuse and Marquette, as they try to maybe show the world that that 14th ranking that they hold right now is worthy and justified. Yeah, I mean, the Bulls have done everything they can so far, but anytime they have the opportunity to get a statement win, they're going to want to get those opportunities here because conference play is right around the corner. What are you seeing from the pace of this one early on? It's kind of gone both ways. I mean, the Southern Illinois has been playing a little up-tempo, getting some steals of their own, but they've also been trying to use the shot clock when they have. You've noticed even just the possession before here, they were shooting with 1 second on the shot clock, and when McGill got that putback dunk, they were shooting at the end of it. So Southern Illinois has been trying to use the clock when they've had the opportunity. 2 free throws are good for the senior from Omaha, Nebraska, Teak Bowl. So we are all knotted up at 8. And again, as we talked about, Southern Illinois only gives up 67 points per game. Buffalo comes in averaging 86 per game. So it'll be interesting to see what gives throughout the rest of this afternoon. We get the foul called down low on Bowl. And as you get a look at Nick Perkins, 2-time 6th man of the year in the Mid-American Conference. The Bulls' second leading scorer, but always comes off the bench. Much more comfortable doing that. See how much the Bulls can get him involved in the offense. Or how much he gets himself involved in the offense. Well, that's good defense there by Southern Illinois, not only to cut off Nick Perkins, but then Bowl to be there to contest the shot with the high hand, but that's a good shot by Nick Perkins. Yes, it is. 7 points and 11 rebounds, but only 2 of 11 field goal shooting in the first meeting of these 2 teams for Nick Perkins. That was deflected by Carruthers up and over the Buffalo bench. And there's a reminder, Tuesday night, an 8 o'clock tip-off that you'll see on ESPN2. Nate Oates versus Jim Boeheim in the Carrier Dome. That's a big one that people are excited about here in Buffalo. Bulls came pretty close to beating the Orange last year. It was a narrow Syracuse victory. Nice drive to the hoop, aggressive drive by Eric McGill that will draw a call, and it will go against Southern Illinois, and this time it's Dante Carruthers drawing the offensive foul. Again, Southern Illinois shooting with the ball with less than 5 seconds on the shot clock. That's by design. They're trying to use the clock. They're trying to limit Buffalo's possessions and not let them get out in transition. However, they need to be a little bit more proactive down at the end of that shot clock. Carruthers knew he had to drive. He knew he had to shoot. It was an easy charge for him to take. What's been your experience when you play in games when you have a team that likes to run and be up-tempo versus a team that is, its one and only goal is to slow you down? Where's the chess match wind up usually being decided? And typically decided by if the team can take care of the basketball or not. Or hit great shots like that. Or hit great shots like that. But even so, the ball comes back to Southern Illinois. If they take care of the basketball, they're going to be able to control the tempo because they have the ability to use all 30 seconds of the shot clock. Yeah, and again, just like anything else, if they shoot the ball well and they don't miss a lot of shots, then the Bulls can't get running off rebounds like this. And here's an example of it. So it all works together, offense and defense. Janathan Williams kicks it. Perkins, 3, bullseye. So there's your aggressive defense leading to offense. Perkins, Sagu, Janathan Williams back to Perkins, and boy, that was pretty, Will, that really was.
And that was right on cue. That's what we were talking about with UB. If you're going to control the tempo, you got to make sure you're getting a good shot late in the shot clock. Right there, 15 seconds left on the shot clock, and UB was able to get out in transition, start pushing the tempo. If Southern takes more time off the clock, they're going to control it, and it's that happy medium between what Southern really decides to do and how UB can force some turnovers.
Can you force your tempo? I mean, if you're a team that wants to run like UB, how can you say the heck with what the opponent wants to do? We're just going to keep doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you get defensive rebounds, or you take the ball out of the basket quick and you try and run. But if you're not getting those defensive rebounds or steals, you're oftentimes going to be approaching a set defense, which makes it much more difficult to get a trail 3 that we just saw by Nick Perkins or other baskets at the rim.
See how aggressive Buffalo is being defensive here. We'll see where things go, and we're watching that pace throughout this afternoon. Nice drive to the hoop, aggressive by Marcus Bartley. He'll kick it out, and the 3 is no good. Missed by Lloyd, rebounded by Williams, and the highly touted freshman Janathan Williams into the front court. And here again, a nice little run for Buffalo, 7-0, partly being triggered with guys like the freshmen Sagu and Williams in the ballgame. Oh, what a move, and what a block. The 96th career block for Teak Bull. Long 3, Perkins, good.
And right there, you're seeing why he was 6th man of the year the past 2 years, because he doesn't play like a bench player. He's one of the best players in the Mid-American Conference, just happens to come off the bench.
Yeah, you won't find us talking a lot about bench scoring when it relates to UB, because it's kind of an erroneous stat. When your second leading scorer and one of your best players comes off the bench. Boy, Jeremy Harris could have really lit this place up if he'd hit that 3, but Nick Perkins will do it instead.
And Southern Illinois, I believe, just got teed up here with Teak Bull slamming the basketball afterwards. But this is what happens. You get out in transition, people aren't set. That gives an opportunity to get offensive rebounds, and right here at the end of the play, Teak Bull slammed the basketball, so that's a double whammy. Not only is Southern Illinois getting called for the foul, they're getting a technical foul, which is going to give the Bulls an opportunity to extend this lead, which, being on the road in a packed house, makes it much more difficult.
So that's exactly what happens. It's a 12-0 Buffalo run. A game that was tied at 8 is now 20-8, and a chance for the Bulls to add to it. Rondo Sagu will go to the free throw line for the technical fouls. Let's see if we can see it here on the replay. Watch number 40. You just saw him start to do it right there.
And I will say this, I watched it happen. He didn't slam it ferociously, but it's the fact that you're showing your frustration, you're showing kind of the atmosphere getting to you, and the refs took it as them potentially showing them up, and they called it technical.
And keep in mind, that's now 3 personal fouls on the one real post defender for Southern Illinois, Teak Bull. Now watch it here. Yeah, it's not a lot, but it's there.
Yeah, the body language wasn't there, but it's just the fact that the basketball bounced above the backboard, and everyone's kind of standing there.
Kind of the equivalent of the Gronk spike from Teak Bull.
Yeah, it's just the refs weren't having any of it, and that's his 3rd foul, and that's tough, because now Pippen's going to have to play inside and have to hold his own against a good post player, Nick Perkins. 11
points already for Nick Perkins. It's a 15-0 Buffalo run. Every game, the Bulls, every one of these 9 undefeated games this year has had an incredible run by the Bulls where they have taken control of the game. They had a 26-4 run in the win over Bonaventure a week ago. It's what Buffalo does, and it's up to the opponent to try to figure out a way to stem the tide, but that's not always very easy.
No, and then that's what Buffalo, they go in spurts, right? That if the offense or the opponent lets their guard down, maybe forces or has a couple turnovers, a couple bad shots offensively. All of a sudden the Bulls are out in transition and they hit 2 threes and get an and one, and that's 9 points in a matter of a minute.
Bulls have hit so far 8 of 13 shots and 3 of 6 3-pointers. Southern Illinois will try to end this run here on this possession. And we get a foul away from the ball. Another turnover on another offensive foul, the 3rd of the game for the Salukis. That one will go on Pippen. So the Bulls on this incredible 15-0 run get another chance to add to it. Nearly a steal. Javon Graves will recover. Graves, fall away 3, no good. And that will stay with Buffalo. We'll take a timeout. We are about midway through the first half. Look at the big block by Teak Bull, but back comes Nick Perkins with a huge 3. It's a 15-0 run. Well, what the Bulls are good at is dictating the pace and the tempo, and then what they're really good at is using that to overwhelm an opponent at times, and this stretch of action shows it, Will.
Yeah, they're able to rely on Nick Perkins big time here, knocking down a couple threes, getting the and one down low. Nick Perkins asserting his presence here on the 15-0 run. Yeah,
you know, again, he comes off the bench, but that's an anomaly because he's a starter who plays starter minutes, who scores starter points. But sometimes, as we saw, the game was slogging along a little bit while Nick was on the bench, tied at 8. All of a sudden, he comes in. The Bulls are a different team.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why the Bulls have been able to start the season so well. It's not Nick Perkins this game or C.J. Massenberg the next game. It's a team effort. Even here tonight, Devontae Jordan got in a little foul trouble, and Carruthers has come in, and Segura has come in and sort of helped play that point guard role and get some stops at the defensive end, and you almost don't even miss Jordan because you have so many other players to fill in.
Big crowd, one of the biggest of the year on hand here at Alumni Arena, and they've watched Perkins score 11 points early on 4 of 5 shooting and 2 of 2 threes, almost 3 of 3. Instead, back come on the run, the Salukis. Nice drive to the hoop, and the ball rolls off for Aaron Cook, and that sort of sums up the first 10 minutes of this half for Southern Illinois. Good save in the corner by Massenberg. This is Janathan Williams. He'll drive the lane, back in, pump, turn, spin, and get it blocked. And Kavion Pippen with a little shake of the head. That was a combination of get that out of here and something good needed to happen.
Yeah, the freshmen on Buffalo are learning a little bit about what the big men of Southern Illinois can do, with Teak Bull throwing a Segura shot earlier and now Pippen throwing Williams' shot.
Janathan Williams long on the 3 after a nifty little feed from Massenberg, and now we've gone a little bit of a cold stretch here between these two teams. Almost a turnover there by Lloyd. And there's more contact, and this one will be called on Buffalo's Dante Carruthers after the collision. Little shoulder there from Aaron Cook.
It's good defense by Carruthers, moving his feet, trying to get in front, but if you're not going to square up the offensive player, it's tough for them to call the charge. And then on top of that, if you fall over, the ref's prone to blow the whistle. In that case, he got called for the block.
We saw Perkins will check out for a rest here as Jeremy Harris and Montel McCray come back in. Devontae Jordan in with the 2 fouls as well, too.
And Southern's going to want to get the ball inside to Pippen. He's got 4 of their points already. They're struggling to score, get it to one of their best players, and get a couple easy baskets.
There you go, but he just can't finish. Almost 5 minutes without a basket for Southern Illinois. Eric McGill on the right-hand wing. Gets a screen from Pippen. Good ball movement here by the Salukis. And stepped out of bounds.
And Southern Illinois, I watched their game on Wednesday night against Murray State. 5 field goals in the first half, only 18 points. They were struggling to score then. They didn't find their rhythm right now. 3 field goals, 8 points already halfway through the first half. They're just struggling offensively right now, and I think part of that might just be they're missing Armand Fletcher.
Yeah, we haven't talked very much about it, but let's be honest now. He's 13.5 points a game. He's the #1 scorer on the team. He's a preseason Missouri Valley player, and he's not out there. Jeremy Harris is out there for his 2 of the game. It's a big loss. It's a big miss for them. Now, he did miss the first game between these 2 teams as well, too.
Yeah, and it was a close game in that matchup. It was a low-scoring game, as we mentioned in the open. But, again, Southern Illinois struggling on the offensive end, and with their lineup changing, getting Fletcher back, and then having him come out makes it tough. And Southern Illinois here with the turnover.
And it's Kavion Pippin called for the offensive foul. It still can't quite believe it, and the look on the faces of the Salukis tells you a little bit of the story of this one, not just with turnovers, but with a 17-0 Buffalo run that is still going on.
And now with Pippin going out with 2 fouls, Teague Bull out with 3 fouls, that's an area of concern for Southern Illinois, especially with the way Nick Perkins has been playing earlier in this first half.
Carruthers no good on the 3. Rebound ripped down by Brendan Gooch, who's in the ball game. So is Rudy Stradniks, number 24. So those guys are going to have to play some minutes here tonight with the foul trouble that we talked about, that you talked about. Nice little floater in the lane by Marcus Bartley to end the 17-0 Buffalo run. Carruthers down the lane, hits.
Carruthers
steamrolled an injured player down for Southern Illinois. That's Aaron Cook, barely putting any weight on the left ankle. And again, a short bench, foul trouble, and now one of their key players limping off.
And I think that occurred with Carruthers driving with such a head of steam down the lane, had the angle. I think there might have been a knee-to-knee contact or into the shin for Cook as he was trying to swipe at the ball when Carruthers was driving. Does not look comfortable right now.
No, he does not, and that's very concerning for the Salukis' second leading scorer. So we'll keep our eyes on that situation, but again, boy, things are just continuing to go from bad to worse here for Southern Illinois. And a nice pass down low, but Stradniks can't hit the layup, and here come the Bulls. And it's Massenberg with the bucket. It's a 21-2 Buffalo run. Traveling is called on Brendan Gooch. CJ Massenberg helping lead his team to an amazing stretch here that has the Bulls up by. And as you get a look at the Southern Illinois bench, we mentioned you can see him a little bit off to the left there is Armand Fletcher. He's played only 6 of the Salukis' 12 games this year. He was hurt early in the year, and now again today suspended for the 3rd consecutive game for a violation of team rules, and it has certainly impacted what they've wanted to do. They've won some games without him. Credit to Barry Hinson and the coaching staff and the players, but I think in a game against the 14th ranked team in the country, it's going to impact you, and that leads us into what you expected to see in your keys to the game today.
Yeah, for SIU, they're going to want to. They need to control the pace of the game. They started off doing that well, but they kind of faded by that. And Pippin, get the ball early. They did that, got him 4 points early, and that's it. Now he's in foul trouble. They're going to have to come back to Pippin at some point in this game, and they're not taking care of the ball again in this game like they didn't do in the first one. And they're going to have to, in order to come back, they're going to have to start taking care of the basketball. 8
turnovers already in this first half, and you see they had 19 in the previous matchup back in early November. 5 turnovers have come in the middle of this 21-2 Buffalo run. McCray thought about the 3. Rondo Seguin thinks about it, pulls the trigger, can't hit, and it's a fast break opportunity for the Salukis. It's Bean, Darius Bean into the front court, cross-court pass. And he'll let Marcus Bartley set it up. Bean will pull up and has the shot blocked, and Javon Graves will draw the foul.
You can see the frustration on the Bulls players because they were hoping to get out in transition, but I think it might have been the right call. It's hard to see, but it looks like he may have gotten the forearm or the elbow of the shooter. So sometimes it's hard pill to swallow when you see open court in front of you.
Second foul of the game for Javon Graves. It will send Darius Bean to the free throw line. He's only been there twice all year. He's hit 1 of 2. Freshman from right there in Carbondale, Illinois, and son of Southern Illinois assistant coach and brother of the school's #3 all-time leading scorer, Anthony Bean. Two for 2 for Darius Bean.
And that's exactly what you got to do when you come into the game, especially in a game where your team's struggling, maybe a little foul trouble. You're not getting a ton of minutes overall as a freshman. You need to stop the bleeding, and he's able to come in and get them 2 points and just get the team in Southern Illinois in a better spot than when you came in and help this team climb back before halftime.
Perkins way off on the 3, and here come the Salukis again. This is McGill being guarded by Perkins. That's a bit of a mismatch. At least size-wise it is. Shot clock down to 5. Dump it down low. Stradniks with the layup. Up and in for Rudy Stradniks. Massenberg for 3. Long. But a long rebound goes to Segu. 3, no good.
Something to note there is that Southern Illinois is switching over to a zone here, going smaller as well with only Stradnik on the court, 4 guards. Change of pace for the Bulls, and they're going to have to adapt offensively.
And on the drive to the hoop by Sean Lloyd, Segu will pick up the foul. What's the thinking behind Barry Hinson making that change and the defense just trying something at this point?
I think so, and when you call a timeout, a lot of times the other team's strategizing what they're going to do on their next offensive possession, and throwing zone negates all that conversation. So sometimes it's just a good way to get the team on their heels. We'll see if they stick to it, but I think with the lack of Teak Bull and Pippen inside to protect the rim, they're going to want to congest it a little bit more and make it harder for the driving lanes for the Bulls.
First points of the game for the senior from Philadelphia, Sean Lloyd, comes from the free throw line. He had 10 points in the previous meeting between these two teams. He is the current Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Week after a 25-point performance a couple of games ago. 2 for 2 from the line for Sean Lloyd. And the lead is down to 13. Jeremy Harris. Bulls have gone cold here after the long run. Stradniks thought about the 3, will dish off, drive to the hoop, and a nice one and a bucket for Sean Lloyd. And the lead is down to 11.
Southern Illinois showing some life, change of pace here on the defensive end, starting to get some baskets at the offensive end and cutting into this lead.
It's now a Southern Illinois 8-0 run. Massenberg 3, rims out. Perkins rebound, had it knocked away, and that will go off of Perkins, and it will go back to the Salukis.
See, Perkins gets the rebound, but then they're able to swipe it off. Lloyd's able to get it out of Perkins' hands, and I think it went off Nick Perkins' left leg and out of bounds.
So a chance to cut it inside of double digits here for Southern Illinois as they extend their own little run. Good teams don't go away, and the Salukis have not. This is Darius Bean dribbling on Massenberg. Shot clock under 10. And a foul called on Jeremy Harris.
And Sean Lloyd's being smart here. The offense was struggling. Southern Illinois was struggling to score. they're in the bonus. Why not be aggressive and force them to either cut the driving lane off, or if they're not, get the foul and get to the free throw line. Don't necessarily need to score at the rim if they're going to foul you and put you to the free throw line.
As you can see, 19th foul on UB in this half. Just under 5 minutes to go. Lloyd back to the free throw line. He has scored 5 straight points for Southern Illinois, and their run now hits 9-0. And Lloyd is good on both of them. And nearly a steal. Hustle play by Aaron Cook, almost pulled it in. Devontae Jordan with the 2 fouls, back in the game for Buffalo, running the point. CJ Massenberg moving people around.
And you can tell the rhythm right here against this 2-3 zone is not what it was against man-to-man. So it's been a good change of pace by Southern Illinois, and the Bulls are going to have to figure this out, because right now they're not putting points up on the board like they once were.
Carruthers will draw the foul along the baseline on Marcus Bartley. Similar to the same kind of play on the other end. So Dante Carruthers, the senior from Rochester, New York, and a 79% free throw shooter, will go to the line for a couple here. So that ends the 10-0 Southern Illinois run. So talking about a game of runs, basketball is always a game of runs, right? Will, 21-2 Buffalo, then right after that, 10-0 Southern Illinois to keep this thing now back at an 11-point game after 2 free throws from Dante Carruthers. And a travel called against the Salukis on the drive to the hoop by Bartley.
And that was the area Southern Illinois was improving on over that 10-point run, as they weren't turning the ball over. They were being aggressive, getting good shots. So, again, here's a turnover. Make sure that they don't let this become multiple turnovers and still maintain the Bulls.
So what's the adjustment for Buffalo, particularly if they didn't maybe spend a lot of time preparing for a zone defense for this game?
They need to be aggressive, driving into the lane. You need to get the zone to collapse and look at the ball so you can pass it out to shooters and extend the zone that way.
Nifty little pass finds Aaron Cook down low, but lots of traffic there. The ball goes out of bounds. We take a timeout. It's looked like it might be headed towards a blowout, but Southern Illinois ain't going away. They're hanging in there, down 11, under 4 to go, first half. Well, this game today starts a pretty incredible 7-day stretch for University of Buffalo athletics that will conclude a week from tonight with the Dollar General Bowl. The Bulls will head to Mobile, Alabama on Tuesday, where they'll take on the Troy Trojans down in Mobile at Ladd Peebles Stadium. Buffalo looking to get an 11th win of the year. Troy comes in with 9 wins. Should be a great matchup and a lot of fun. And this amazing Buffalo football season, one more game to see all the great players like Anthony Johnson and the guys try to pull off one more victory, Will.
Yeah, it's been one heck of a year for UB football, and they got an opportunity to cap off the season Friday night against Troy.
You'll see that game on ESPN Saturday night, Will, a 7 o'clock kickoff from Mobile, Alabama. It's the only bowl game on that night, so Bulls fans will, again, have a pretty fun week with a game here, then men at Syracuse, then the women host Stanford on Friday, then the men are at Marquette on Friday, and then there's a bowl game on Saturday. It's pretty amazing what's going on here.
It's good time to be a Bulls fan.
Yes, it is. It really is.
A lot of activity for these fans to take in over the next week and prep for the holidays.
So Southern Illinois down 11, under 4 minutes to go, has a chance to cut into that lead off the inbounds. An aggressive drive to the hoop, a little backwards flip by Sean Lloyd will not go, but we get a foul called on Buffalo. Going to be the second on CJ Massenberg.
And that's been Southern Illinois' best offense here in the last 10 minutes of the first half, is getting driving lanes to the basket, specifically Sean Lloyd being physical on those drives. He's getting back to the line now for his third time to shoot free throws. And it's a matter of just driving to the basket.
Only 2 attempted three-pointers in the game for Southern Illinois. They haven't made either one of them, so that illustrates your point, Will, which is they're thinking that their way to get on the board here is to drive and not try to shoot up and over the top of the Bulls. And Lloyd hits another 2 free throws, so he's got 9. 7 of them have come from the free throw line. And it is under a 10-point lead now for Buffalo. Jordan kicks for Massenberg. 3 is long and no good. And that will go back to the Salukis.
And that's the first time the Bulls have tried to get the ball going to the rim, get the defense to collapse, and then pass it back out. Not necessarily the most effective shot that they had, but you could see the Bulls trying to adapt and attack the zone a little bit differently here out of this media timeout.
Just 3 of 18 shooting three-pointers. That's a lot of threes in less than a half, Will, even for the Bulls who do like to shoot them. Stradniks will shoot a 3, and it's no good. Massenberg will tip it, but it's taken away by Darius Bean. And that's an offensive foul. It's going to go against Marcus Bartley. And it's Massenberg who draws it.
And the refs have been paying attention to those ball screens. Southern Illinois leaning out, you can see that's a good call. And when Stradnick came into the game for Pippen, who got in trouble for setting these ball screens, you could see the ref mouthing, saying, hey, I just called these on your teammate. Watch, stay within your frame, and clearly did not there and got called for the foul.
Yeah, Stradnick gets it for the screen. Nice cut to the hoop by Jeremy Harris. Tried for the alley-oop, gives it back to Carruthers, who kicks it for Jordan. 3, no good. Harris tips the rebound, and it goes off Southern Illinois.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Bulls shooting 18 threes, make that their 19th three, but you can tell here, you see the highlight, the Bulls are trying to get movement towards the basket there, occupying the defense, throwing it over the top. Defense collapse, they can settle for a 3, but their approach here out of that last media timeout has been a little bit more getting the ball to the basket. Hasn't converted much yet. We'll see if it does here.
Carruthers backs off. Perkins, 17-footer, no good. Boy, the Bulls have really gone cold here after the long run. Actually, both teams have gone cold, but Southern Illinois has gone 3 minutes without a field goal. Their points have come from the line. Nearly a turnover, and then it is a turnover. Stradnick's had the lane open, wide open. Instead of driving, tried to dish it and threw it away.
Yeah, and that's just confidence right there. You got to be able to read the situation. Ball was bobbled, and he almost felt like he had to get rid of it, and all of a sudden, there was nothing between him and the rim besides himself.
That's the 11th turnover of the game for Barry Hinson's team. And that's a pretty big stat.
And that's the difference right there, really. I mean, the Bulls have 9 extra possessions just because of that. Now, both teams have had their moments. They've got some runs, but now they're both struggling to score, and having a couple extra possessions can get you out of that rut a little bit easier.
The 2 freshmen, Segu and Williams, are in, and there's Segu with the turnover. Head of the field, and a nice play coming from behind by Montel McCray to knock it out of the hands of Darius Bean, but the foul will be called, and it'll send Bean to the free throw line. Good catch up there by Montel McCray.
You got to give Southern credit. They started off slow, not able to take care of the basketball and let the Bulls get off to a quick start. However, they've adjusted, and they've slowly climbed back here to make this a game that's less than 10 points. And, you know, unfortunately missed a free throw there, but can cut it to 8 with the make of this.
Neither team shooting particularly well, both of them under 40%, and we mentioned particularly none of them good from three-point. 0 for 3 for Southern Illinois, 3 of 19 for Buffalo. It's an 8-point UB lead. Segu almost turned it over. Janathan Williams will kick it for Carruthers. Massenberg steps back, 3, short. Even the normally reliable C.J. Massenberg sort of lost the range. And that three is off by Bartlett. Carruthers drives, gets caught underneath, and a jump ball called. It'll stay with the Bulls.
It's a good move to get by the original defender, but the defender, Bartley, was able to stay with it and contain the basketball, get the jump ball, so no harm, no foul there.
Corner three from Janathan Williams is no good. That was the 20th three taken by the Bulls in the half. Stradniks for three, got it. And the lead is down to 5.
Just like that. It's a 5-point game.
The lead was once 19. And a fired up Southern Illinois bench and a angry Buffalo head coach Nate Oates. Boy, this half has had a little bit of everything in it.
So Southern right now going 2-3 zone. The Bulls are settling for threes, as we mentioned, 23s in the first half. What they're not doing, they're not attacking the high post. They're not getting the ball inside the lane, getting the ball going to the rim, getting the defense to collapse. So instead, they're not getting these uncontested catch and shoot shots that they were getting in the first half, making those threes not as high quality percent shots, a little bit harder to score, and subsequently not converting as much.
Buffalo's gone over 7 minutes without a basket, as it's currently a 6-0 run from Southern Illinois. They haven't really done a whole lot of scoring either in this stretch of the game.
Now you take a look here, you see the Bulls. They got the players spread out. They're taking contested shots. C.J. Massenberg gets the ball tipped. They need someone who can get in the high post, attack, get the defense to collapse, or even just pass it to a guy that's open, and they have a driving lane off of that pass.
Under a minute to go. High post for Nick Perkins. Spin move, left-handed layup's good.
And that will solve a lot of problems if they can keep doing that.
13 and a half for Nick Perkins. Corner three, Salukis. Cook is no good, but an offensive rebound and a putback by Lloyd. $11 and a half for Sean Lloyd. Final seconds, under 10 to go. This is Jeremy Harris. He'll pull up, rims out, and that's where we end a wild and crazy first half. It's a 5-point Buffalo lead. At one point, it was a 19-point Buffalo lead. Southern Illinois fights their way back. It's Bulls by 5. It's a 5-point Buffalo lead after a wild first half full of runs by both teams. The 14th ranked Bulls, who maybe thought they were going to run Southern Illinois out of Alumni Arena, find themselves in quite a battle right now. At 14th in the country, there have been so many memorable moments for the Bulls this year, so we picked 14 of those memorable moments and got the Bulls to react to 14 photos by the 14th ranked team.
14 photos with the number 14 Bulls.
This photo right here is vicious.
He thought he was Michael Jordan, though.
Vontae took off right here.
They call him Vontae Jordan, you know, Air Vontae, whatever you want to call it.
Do a CJ triple-double night.
You know, we always showing love to brothers on the team. I think CJ needed a haircut, and yeah, man, we all need a haircut. And this was a rough one.
Oh, that's Butterbread.
That's me right there. Nice little form, you know what I'm saying?
This boy is probably the best shooter I ever played with.
Shout out to Javon, getting on the Sports Center.
This is the 360.
You know, showing a lot of athleticism.
This was a couple years ago, he got the fro, but he need the fro back.
Oh my God, CJ. Your hair is terrible.
He didn't cut his hair now. This fro C, you feel me, when he was in his prime.
Oh, this photo, straight charge.
Vontae taking a charge on Bonnie's last year at home.
We lost this game, but we just got him.
Everybody know that face. I can hear what he's saying.
It looking like he's saying jump to the ball.
You know, he love talking to the ref. You know, he always on our side. We appreciate that.
You just caught that on the other end. We just had that down here and it was a no call.
Trey had a good little block right here on the backboard. He put it on the backboard.
This might be a foul though, Trey. I don't know. It's a good block though.
My man's Nate being long on defense.
Oh man, we got Nate playing defense on here?
This is a tough pick of Nate, you feel me? Locking up, playing some defense, you know?
Something crazy just happened. Somebody just got to add one or something.
Yes, sir. My shorts a little, but I ain't tripping.
Everybody getting up, happy for the guys, you know? Everybody eats on this team. Oh, this is a big boom, you know, I had to give me a little boom.
Perk dunking it, and I'm in the background like, yeah.
I probably made a 3 or something right here. Everybody happy. Rondo pushing me. Rondo be a little extra with the push.
He's probably running away because Rondo's breath probably stank.
Rondo, he like the hype man on the team.
Oh, this is Mac Champion right here.
Whole squad in here. Great experience.
You see me right there, glowing, good skincare. You feel me? We all in here. This is a good team pick, man. That's 14 photos with your number 14 Bulls.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun when you're undefeated, you've won 16 straight at home, and you're 14th in the country. Will all of those continue? That's the answer to that question. We don't have it yet. It's a 5-point Buffalo lead. More from halftime.
Tenacity, ambition, purpose. Here, it's not just what.
UB Athletics proudly invites you to etch your name into history with a personalized brick on the new Stampede Plaza, located near the brand new Murchie Family Fieldhouse. Available in 3 fully customizable sizes, these bricks are the perfect way to celebrate holidays, graduations, or any special occasion. Join us in celebrating UB's rich heritage and exciting future. To cement your personal legacy at the University of Buffalo, call 833-551-5702.
We start the second half here at UB's Alumni Arena with the 14th ranked Bulls leading by only 5, but the 33-28 score doesn't begin to tell the story of this half, because in the early part of the first half, Buffalo goes on a 21-2 run to go up 29-10. And from that point on, with about 8 minutes to go in the half, Southern Illinois scores 18 of the next 22 points. And a big reason why was Southern Illinois changed to his own defense, and the Bulls just kept hoisting up threes. 21 of them in the first half, hitting only 3 for 14%. And that allowed Southern Illinois to get hot. Rudy Stradniks with a big 3 there, and the Bulls never really got very aggressive in trying to push the ball inside. And you get a look at how Southern Illinois is out shooting, out rebounding. Turnovers has really been the key stat, because that's what led to the 21-2 Buffalo run, was those 11 turnovers in the first half. But the Bulls are only shooting 33%. Southern Illinois shooting 40% and getting second chances, and they've been drawing fouls and going to the free throw line, and they're 11 of 14 are the Salukis from the line. So it was a really odd half for both teams, as you know, Buffalo is the 14th ranked team coming in, having won 16 straight here at home, and one of only 9 undefeated teams in the country. Didn't certainly play to the standard that we thought and expected, Will. And you know, and why do you think, and you have an interesting theory as to maybe why the Bulls were a little infatuated with shooting the threes there in that half?
Well, it comes down to the fact that UB in general likes to shoot the 3, and they've been settling for it because they thought that's the best shot for them. I can tell you at halftime that was not the message Nate Oates was sending, saying we're going to have to get high percentage shots, get our rhythm back. And it'll be interesting to see if Southern Illinois comes out in the zone now that they have their big men back, because they were sitting out. Kavion Pippen and Teak Bull were sitting out because of foul trouble.
Missed 3 and a one-handed rebound by Montel McCray. Fast break for the Bulls. McCray pulls up from 3, no good. And another 3 that doesn't find the bottom of the rim, and another possession off a rebound for the Salukis. McGill kicks it outside for Aaron Cook. This is McGill. Marcus Bartley slows it down. Shot clock under 10. Kick it into the corner. Sean Lloyd. And that's an offensive foul. Another one drawn by Devontae Jordan.
And that's a player right there. The Bulls missed it for part of that half. Was the defense, the on-ball defense of Devontae Jordan able to get in front. I mentioned in the first half, Sean Lloyd was getting to the basket, getting to the rim because the defense couldn't get in front of him, drawing some fouls. Jordan flipped the script. Do
you think at all the fact that the Bulls play Syracuse on Tuesday night, and I'm sure they spent a little time this week preparing for Syracuse's 2-3 zone, does that lead at all to the sort of hoisting up all the threes?
Honestly, I don't know if it leads to that. It's more surprising to me that the Bulls know they have Syracuse coming up. They had a week off, so they had to have been preparing not only for Southern Illinois, but starting to wrinkle in some drills for the zone, that they would have plays and sort of try and get the team ready to not only be able to shoot the three, because they're going to have to against Syracuse, but also to get to the rim and make the team collapse. I don't know. I mean, they had the opportunity to practice for it for a whole week.
You saw the third foul of the game and a big one on Kavion Pippen, and there's a nice dunk from the feed from Carruthers to the dunk for Jeremy Harris. And keeping on that theme, just briefly, I don't know that anybody here expected Southern Illinois to drop into a 2-3 zone in a game like this, so whether that had anything to do with it or not, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about that. Southern Illinois is predominantly a man-to-man team. They don't switch up from that unless it's dire needs, and when you're down 19 in the first half with two of your bigs on the bench, that's what it called for, and it worked out.
Kavion Pippen got the nice give-back feed, and the ball gets swatted out of bounds. Look at the nice pass. You just saw the tail end of it from Carruthers to Jeremy Harris.
That's just a good drive and dish right there. Carruthers going baseline, able to find Harris crash into the basket and get the easy dunk.
So the foul was called on Carruthers. That's his second. It sends Pippen to the line where he hits his first. Southern Illinois has been good from the line. That's 12 of 15 now. It's been a big part of their offense. Darn near half their points. A tough afternoon so far for Kavion Pippen. We thought he would be a much bigger part of what Southern Illinois was going to try to do in this game, but fouls have had a role in that as well.
I mean, when he subbed out, he was a big part. I think he had 40% of their offense, but they just were overall as a team struggling, and then getting in foul trouble made it a little bit difficult.
Jordan Ayers a three. Been waiting a long time for that, have the Bulls, and it's Devontae Jordan's first basket of the game. And the lead is back to double digits. Another give and go for Pippen, and this time he converts. We've seen that play at least twice in the last 3 possessions.
Yeah, again, Pippen getting him going towards the basket, and that's what you need to do for Southern Illinois. Get those high percentage shots. Not only that, but you have the opportunity of the Bulls fouling down low and getting in a little bit of foul trouble right there. As you see Jordan not even wanting to, because he's like, hey, I got 2, I got to go straight up here. Worked out for Southern Illinois.
That was a nice pass from Marcus Bartley on that give and go, and now after the foul call, I thought it was a foul call, but looks like we're checking the timing now here, and that's what our officials, John Campbell, Tim Stewart, Chad Barlow, are looking up at the moment. You know, I always feel like, Will, it's sometimes a media and fan creation, but I want you to tell me whether I'm wrong about this or not. Is there any looking ahead that goes on, particularly with a week where you play 2 top 25 teams in Syracuse and Marquette? Do you suppose that's at all any factor for Buffalo in the way they're playing today?
I think there's a chance that happens. However, playing a team like Southern Illinois already in the season, having that unique dynamic here, and it wasn't like the Bulls ran away with that game. Southern Illinois was up early in the first half against them, maintained that lead. So the Bulls know that that's a difficult team.
So there's your week ahead for the Bulls at Syracuse, which losing today probably won't be 25th when the Bulls play them on Tuesday. Marquette at 21st on Friday. Then it's at Canisius, a big 5-mile road trip for the Bulls. And then the MAC schedule starts at one of the favorites in the MAC, along with Buffalo, Eastern Michigan, and Toledo right after that. Those are pretty much the three teams most people think are going to battle for the MAC championship. Pull-up jumper for Perkins off glass and good.
And that's the matchup we thought we were going to be staring down most of the night. Perkins versus Pippen. Now they're both on the court and they're both going at it.
15 points for Nick Perkins. Bartley kicks it to the corner, and there's another offensive foul drawn by Jordan. That's his 4th offensive foul drawn this afternoon.
And Lloyd's just got to be a little bit smarter there. That is good defense by Devontae Jordan. Lloyd lowers his shoulder. Jordan has the right to the space he's at. He squares the offensive player up. That is really good on-ball defense by Devontae Jordan, and it's tough because it wasn't like Lloyd really shoved off or anything, but that's the name of the game.
Perkins kicks it to the corner. Carruthers, 3, good!
And you can just tell that the Bulls are more comfortable playing against a man-to-man defense. So I wouldn't be surprised if Southern Illinois decides to shift back to that 2-3 zone that they had a lot of success with in the first half.
And now it's a 10-3 Buffalo run to start the second half, and an offense and a rebound for Massenburg. Harris, pull up, 3, no good. Massenburg with another rebound. Top 10 in the MAC in rebounds is C.J. Massenburg at 7.5 a game. Harris goes to his left, has it blocked. Perkins with a rebound and a foul. Just under 16 minutes to go in the second half. The Bulls trying to pull away from a pesky Salukis team. It's a 12-point. Back at Buffalo's Alumni Arena, the Bulls trying to pull away here now with a 12-point lead. You know, I found out today, surprisingly, that Will Regan's contract for providing color commentary only accounts for 35 of the 40 minutes every game. So in order to account for that, we just happen to find the nation's leading scorer roaming around, and we're going to let Sierra Dillard from the UB women's basketball team join us for a couple of minutes. Just kidding on the Will Regan front. Will be back, but hey, congratulations on all that you've accomplished this year. Have you dialed that up online and just looked to see your name at the top of the scoring list in the country?
I have saw it. It's an amazing accomplishment. I give so credit more to like my coaches, my teammates. I wouldn't be able to do it without them, and also the amazing fans of Buffalo who supported us on our long run of away trips that we've had. So it's been great, and I'm just glad to bring success back to Buffalo.
All right, I know that ultimately you want my job, right? We've talked about it. You want my job. So here's your chance to provide a little color commentary for this segment of the half. So what have you seen from this game so far, Sierra? That first half was kind of weird and odd with all the runs and all the missed threes. What's your sense of what we're seeing right now?
It was definitely a game of runs first half. Both teams went on a drought of shooting percentage, and both teams went on a game of runs. I'm seeing that Buffalo is, trying to attack the zone a little bit more in the second half, more so the first half. They got to do that to get ready for Syracuse.
Yeah, and again, we didn't expect that Southern Illinois was going to play a lot of zone, so that's been so how do you as a player react to something that maybe you didn't spend a whole lot of time expecting?
It's all about a game of adjustments. I think the coaching staff has done a great job of coming out in the second half more attacking the zone, and game of basketball is all about a game of adjustments, and Buffalo's doing a good job of adjusting right now.
All right, so the Bulls on a little bit of a run here to start the half, and right at the end of the shot clock, a pull-up 3 from Sean Lloyd is no good. Any team loves that when you can force a shot clock violation.
Definitely. It's definitely a momentum changer of coming down, making 2 free throws from Perkins, and then going on defense and getting that stop.
Who's jumping out at you on the Buffalo side of what they've been able to do here in the first half? I assume Nick Perkins with 17 points has looked pretty good, hasn't he?
Definitely. He definitely came out of the gate ready to attack right from the jump, and Buffalo's doing a great job of playing off of him.
Jeremy Harris to Massenburg. CJ thought about the corner 3. He'll kick it to the opposite corner. Carruthers, big ball fake. Got his defender way up in the air. Jordan gets trapped a little bit and bounces it off the hands of Big Teak Bowl of Southern Illinois.
Even right there, you can see that Buffalo loves to share the ball. They love to, get people off their feet and attack and look for one another.
Here's the replay. Look at Jordan just trying to create anything he could down there, didn't he? And there's the nice inbounds pass and the bucket for C.J. Massenberg that puts him over 1,500 career points here at UB.
That's an amazing accomplishment.
7 in the game for Massenberg. The lead's up to 16. Remember, this was 33-28 at the half, and Perkins will get called for the foul. How much do you enjoy watching C.J. Massenberg? Because in a lot of ways, the way he plays is a lot of the way you play as well.
It's amazing to see. It's just amazing to see the hard work, because I know how much time and effort he puts in the off season, and seeing that, you know, not being a a top recruit and coming into Buffalo and being one of the amazing players in the country right now.
You ever played him one-on-one at all?
I have not yet.
Do you want to?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm up for any challenge.
Who's winning that one? I think I know your answer to that question.
I'm definitely winning that one.
Right. We might have to do that. Might be kind of a cool, like, special event here at Alumni Arena.
Of course.
A little CJ versus CD one-on-one showdown.
I think we can sell some tickets on that one.
I think we could. Speaking of tickets, what a great crowd here today, and this is amazing to see this place pretty much full. And I know you guys on the women's side are getting your crowds to the point where they're starting to look a little like this too.
Definitely. It's going to be a great turnout on Stanford when we play them Friday.
How excited are you? The 11th ranked team in the country coming here. That doesn't happen very often at any level of college basketball.
It doesn't. It's definitely a good turnout and a good way to thank the UB fans for some amazing support.
So that's the next home game. We've got a road game on Tuesday at Dartmouth, and then the Bulls women's team here on Friday against Stanford, a noon tip-off rather. Make sure you get out here to see one of the more amazing college basketball games of the year. Dante Carruthers, no good on the three, but a good rebound by Perkins, but he tipped it back out to Southern Illinois. Lloyd kicks it into the corner. Pull-up jumper from Bean is good. And quickly the Bulls back the other way, and that's a turnover. Segu and Graves not able to connect. You go a long way back with Dante Carruthers, don't you?
Definitely, about back to 8th, 9th grade. We started playing basketball together, and our brothers, actually, not many people know, our brothers kind of got us in the gym, and we've been playing basketball ever since.
How proud are you to see the kind of player that he's become here?
Very proud. He's become an all-around defender, an all-around offensive player as well. He's always known for his offensive skills out of high school, but the way he is so good on defense, it's amazing to see.
I don't know that there's an arena in the country big enough for the personalities between you and Dante Carruthers.
It's definitely not. We definitely feed off each other.
You guys are a little over the top, and that's what we love about you.
It's definitely lovely.
Long three put up by Marcus Bartley is no good. Battle for the rebound. There's your guy Dante on the move, leading the break. Carruthers feeds Massenberg. What a nice assist from Dante to CJ.
That was a great pass, and Buffalo loves that running gun type offense to lead out in transition.
Back to a 16-point Buffalo lead. 9 points for CJ Massenberg. Second assist of the game for Dante Carruthers, and a foul on the drive to the basket. How impressed are you? Again, we know that you're a fan of college basketball, and what does it mean to have the guys in the next locker room over to you being 14th in the country and playing as well as they are, as we watch your guy Dante with another assist
It's definitely great. I mean, it's amazing to see just, again, their hard work and their effort that they put in the offseason, and I'm so excited for these young men to put on a show for the country, and they've been doing it for a while, and Coach Oates has definitely turned this program around.
How much are you on the women's team and your teammates feeding off of what the men are doing?
We're definitely feeding off of it. We see each other after practice and, going on in the hallways, and we always talk to each other about it, and it's great to see. We're definitely feeding off of it, and looking to turn things around for us, and definitely bringing Stanford home is going to be a great one to be.
A couple of free throws coming up here for Big Teak Bull off to a foul from Montel McRae. What is it about your game that's different this year? I mean, you're just scoring a little more, but you're doing a little bit of everything. Was there a thought that you needed to do that coming into this year?
Definitely. The 5 seniors that left laid down the blueprint of winning, and we wanted to continue that. And I think using more of my vocal skills and using more of being a vocal leader is kind of changed of how I play, and kind of directing more, and coach is kind of giving me that freedom on the court of being a coach on the court as well as she is on the sideline.
Nice alley-oop. Look at that.
That was a nice play.
Nathan Williams. No, those players from Rochester just can't be stopped, can they?
We love to look for our teammates, I'll tell you that.
Another from one Rochester native to the other. Sierra Dillard on Janathan Williams. Oh, nice drive to the basket there by Eric McGill. Boy, when the Bulls get those alley-oops going, then you know the guys are feeling good. And when the threes are falling like that, they're feeling good too. First points of the game for Javon Graves. The lead's back to 17 points.
Back to 17 points, and looks like another turnover, and Buffalo will get the ball right back.
And you can feel it. You can when you're in a run like this, you can feel how teams start to tense up and lead to mistakes like that, don't you?
Yes, you definitely feel it, especially being at home. That home crowd is kind of a sixth man on the court.
Knocked out of bounds, so it'll be another inbounds here for Rondo Segou. Get the two freshmen, Segou and Williams, in with McCray, Graves, and Carruthers. And you can see the second half three-point shooting after the Bulls really struggled in the first half, hitting just 3 of 21. They're at 50% here in the half. Dante, drive to the hoop.
Good pass.
Oh, he fed McCray. It got knocked away, but Graves has got it. Segou, pull up. Good.
Good shot. That's one thing I love about our young men. They never give up on a play.
Everything's fallen for the Bulls now. The lead is at 19. And nearly another turnover. We've got a timeout on the court. I'm going to fight like heck to let you not take my job because you're darn ready for it, Sierra. Thanks for a couple of minutes of your time. Good luck on Tuesday. Good luck against Stanford on Friday.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Go Bulls.
Sierra Dillard joining us. We're back to Alumni Arena right after this. Will Regan, I was a little worried you were going to get Wally pipped there by, look that up, kids. Wally pipped there by Sierra Dillard, and might not have you back, but Sierra did a great job. She's raising the bar here for all of us, isn't she?
Yeah, it sounds like she was a natural, so, I mean, I got to step my game up here.
All right, well, so step your game up by telling me how the Bulls stepped their game up to start this half on a 22-9 run.
Well, they got an offense, they were in rhythm, and they're getting shots that they were comfortable getting again. Southern Illinois came out in the man to start the half, and they found their rhythm. Southern's been changing it up, but it hasn't worked thus far, and they're shooting 9 of 13 here in the second.
Should Southern have stayed in the zone?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think they should have. But again, as a coach, that's not necessarily what your bread and butter is. You're getting your main players back, and it's a hard decision to make when that's what you practice every day. And you know, you got to give them props for changing into it. And you know, you make the tough call to switch out of it, and it hasn't worked thus far in the second half.
Yeah, and sometimes it's a simple game. The Bulls are just shooting better. 9 of 13 field goals in the second half, 3 of 6 from 3. They're getting better shots. They're working for better shots, but they're hitting them. McPerkins rips the rebound down. Segou tried to kick it into the corner for Jeremy Harris. It was stolen away and stolen back. Javon Graves, he'll get it to Harris. Cross-court pass, Graves, 3, in and out. Perkins with the tip, and the rebound winds up in the arms of Lloyd. Nice drive to the hoop by Darius Bean. I was just about to say, Southern Illinois needs a go-to guy here to put some points on the board to get them back in this one. Maybe it's Bean. Perkins says, not so fast. 19 for Nick Perkins.
The Bulls were struggling to knock it down from behind the arc in the first half, but not so much here in the second.
It always seems to me that it's usually a Nick Perkins 3 that's an incredible momentum booster. How about that? A great pass from Aaron Cook to Teak Bowl for the dunk. Southern Illinois not ready to go away yet. It's an 18-point Buffalo lead. The Salukis are hanging in there. The Bulls are shooting hot. We'll see how all that changes down the stretch. Well, if you're a bit of a newer fan to college basketball, you may be watching this game going, what's a Saluki? Will, you know what a Saluki is now, don't you?
Yeah, it's Egyptian, one of the earliest breeds of dog from an Egyptian background.
Yeah, descended from ancient Egypt, and because Southern Illinois at times has been called Little Egypt when they had a contest in the 50s to come up with a new nickname for the school, that tied into a dog whose history dates back to ancient Egypt. A Saluki, kind of like a greyhound, is actually the fastest dog of any breed. So if the Salukis on the basketball court can pull a little Saluki speed and determination here, try to get back in this one. But there you go. We're a full-service broadcast here, and those youngsters eventually will find out and know what a Saluki is. It is one of the more unique nicknames in all of college sports, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like the background of that, and the fact that there's a little story and it ties into the community in which the university is located is nice.
Nearly a steal on an aggressive play by Darius Bean, who's played very well for the Salukis. And this is a critical point of the game. If Southern Illinois doesn't want this game to go to the Dogs, they need to fight hard here, and that fight comes from Stradniks with the foul on Janathan Williams down low.
Yeah, you can see Southern Illinois has transitioned back into that 2-3 zone with Stradnik in the middle again, but Janathan Williams will get to the rim and draw the foul and go to the line for 2.
A little long on the free throw for the freshman from Rochester, New York, Janathan Williams. Kind of feeling his way through college basketball a little bit. And let's be honest, he's on a team, a very good team with a lot of good players ahead of him. So, you know, his time has been somewhat limited. Although I give Nate Oates credit for getting he and Rondo Segou in the games pretty early at crucial points.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Janathan Williams, you hear he's highly touted in, you watch it, you see the potential, and you wait for those more and more of those moments, but he has limited opportunity with the talent in front of him, and he's got to be patient. The opportunities will continue to come, and they'll be able to capitalize early and often in his career.
Layup by Stradniks on the other end. Devontae Jordan, no good on the 3. It's Williams that tips the rebound out of bounds. So again, to recap where this game has kind of been all over the place. Bulls go up 29-10 after a 21-2 run in the first half, but then go cold, and Southern Illinois then goes on an 18-4 run to make it a 5-point game at the half. But since the half has started, it's been a 27-15 advantage here for Buffalo. And they've been able to add to that lead at 17 points. You see the second half scoring right there.
And I was going to say, you mentioned in the first half, basketball's a game of runs, and Southern Illinois, credit to them, were able to match UB's run in the first half to climb back into it, but the Bulls came out with the hot hand in the second.
Is there ever a point when you're a player, Will, where you're just kind of waiting for the run or expecting the run or sort of know you're in the middle of the run?
No, I mean, as a player, the perspective is you got to just try and put the run. Like, it all starts at the defensive end. You got to get stops and get out. If you don't get those stops, obviously the team's going to be scoring and keeping up with you or even going on a run of their own. So the focus is always the defensive end because that's the toughest part. Offense will come.
Foul on the opposite end there for Southern Illinois. Another turnover. Perkins thought about another long 3. He'll drive on Stradniks, had it knocked away and stolen away. Here come the Salukis on the run. It's McGill into the lane. Behind the head layup is good. It's all good, man, for McGill with a nice layup. Jordan trying to feed Perkins, gets it back, and it goes right through the hands of Graves.
A little sloppy here for the Bulls coming out of that timeout. Perkins driving to the basket, getting stuffed. Southern Illinois getting out in transition, and now they get the ball back here to get another chance at it.
The Bulls, one of 9 undefeated teams in the country, looking for the first 10-0 start since 1930. Almost 100 years since that's happened here at Buffalo. And another sloppy play, but Southern Illinois regains. This is McGill putting on a dribbling exhibition, dishes it off for Bean. Long 3 is good. Eric McGill with a long one.
That possession may not have been how they drew it up. Couple tosses to save it from being out of bounds over and back, but knocks down a deep 3, and that's a clutch shot for Southern Illinois.
And it's back down to a 12-point Buffalo lead. They are feeding the ball to Perkins. He's trying to take advantage of Stradniks, but it's Massenberg that puts it up and in.
And one of the best skills C.J. Massenberg has in his game, we all know he can score, but his ability to get rebounds and, you know, keep plays alive. And right there you see it, getting the offensive rebound and an easy 2 points.
5th rebound of the game to go along with 11 points and 2 assists for C.J. Massenberg, who had a triple-double a couple of weeks ago, just the 2nd in school history. And that one's going to go against Devontae Jordan.
See McGill knocking it down deep, and Perkins there. Bulls up 14.
Well, we talked about the unusual aspect of this being a home and home with a non-conference opponent, and that's just because nobody wants to play Southern Illinois in Buffalo, and that's what the Saluki schedule will look like over the next couple of weeks. They'll head back home for a couple in a row there, and then really dive into their Missouri Valley Conference schedule. They are the preseason pick to finish third in the MVC.
Yeah, one thing that I know Southern Illinois is going to appreciate is the opportunity to get Armand Fletcher back. The question is, when will that happen? There hasn't really been any news about when he's going to come back, and he's a key player to this team that's going to really help them in conference play.
Yeah, and as you break the Buffalo huddle, that is Director of Basketball Operations Adam Bowman, a 2018 graduate of Southern Illinois University and a former manager there for the Salukis. And I'm sure he knows where the paycheck is coming, so he knows who he's rooting for, and that'll be 2-0 against the alma mater for Adam Bowman, who does a great job in making sure everything runs smoothly for the Bulls and Nate Oates. You always have pride for your alma mater, but you know where you are at the moment. Three-pointer will eventually come in off the tip. Just two, but I think that was Stratnick's with the tip in.
You got to give Stratnick some credit here. Not the main post player that Southern Illinois relies on, but he's been having himself a good game and part of that big run they had late in the first half and getting some key baskets here in the second.
Boy, that could have been a big basket to cut it to 10. Instead, Devontae Jordan will feed Carruthers, and it's knocked away. So still another chance to do that. Bean, cross court. Again, thinking about the threes, but not ready to take them. They'll get it inside for Stratnick, and that's offensive.
Wow. I'll tell you who's been hitting the deck the most today is this guy right here, Devontae Jordan. That's his 5th charge. Couple blocks mixed in between there, but he's not afraid to try and draw one. And as you see right there, he had position, and Stratnick lowered his shoulder and gets the offensive foul.
Third foul on Rudy Stratnick. Playing as much as he is because of foul trouble for Kavion Pippen and Teak Bowl, who both have 3 fouls, and really both their minutes have been limited in this game. Pippen has only played 11, and that's wasn't part of the plan at all for Barry Hinson. Spin in the lane by Jordan, kick to Carruthers. A little dribbling exhibition by Dante, and a travel. Yeah, Bulls have gone cold a little bit here again, too, while Southern Illinois hit 6 of their last 8 to keep this one close. And again, now, Will, you look at that 62, and we talk so much about the Bulls, average 87, love to get over 80. They've scored over 80 in 8 of the 9 games this year, and 26 of their 36 last year, but it's going to be a little struggle to get to 80 again here today.
Yeah, it's a testament really to the style of play Southern Illinois plays, and maybe not to script that Southern Illinois' defense came out of that 2-3 zone and be able to hold them in that first half, because UB was lighting it up early and it slowed down after that.
Well, that bounced off the back of a Bull, and Southern Illinois not able to convert. And a lot of that has to do with Southern Illinois milking the possession clock as well, too, and limiting the number of possessions for a team. In Buffalo, according to the Ken Palm stats, scores averages 14 seconds per possession, 7th fastest in the country.
Yeah, and that comes out of their ability to run in transition, skews the stats a little bit when a lot of their shots are in transition. But that's how the Bulls like to play. They like to play up tempo, and they like to get shots when they find it and they like it. They're gonna fire.
McGill with the free throw. 15 of 19 from the line for Southern Illinois. That's been a big part of their offense in this game. Make it 16 of 20. That's 11 in the game for Eric McGill. And it is a 10-point lead with under 6 minutes to go. Jordan. Harris. Trying to get it down low for Perkins. Instead, Jordan will drive and hit it himself. That's a good play by Jordan. Tried to get it somewhere. It wasn't there, so he just decided to take it himself. 5 in the game for Jordan. There's another push-off, no foul, and nearly a steal by Carruthers. And Devontae Jordan's signaling to his head coach that that one should have been his 5th drawn offensive foul of the game.
You can see a tip ball off Carruthers. Little antsy, wanted to get out in transition, but Jordan did have an opportunity to get charged there, but it was kind of a good no call there because both players were pushing off each other and had some hands going on, so the ref did a good job not blowing the play dead.
And a 3 is drained by Aaron Cook for his first points of the game. A 46% three-point shooter. That's his first attempt, and the lead is down to 9. Players hitting the court. Carruthers. Perkins going to back in on Stradniks. Gets double-teamed and gets fouled.
Yeah, you'll see the replay, or Nick Perkins going line. I thought we were going to replay there, but Nick Perkins was going at Stradnik. Stradnik held his position pretty darn well, and Cook got called for the foul, just swiping at the ball.
Big game for Nick Perkins, 20 points and 9 rebounds for the big senior from Ypsilanti, Michigan. And Nick has been able to take advantage of the fact that Pippen has been in foul trouble and that they're down to basically their 3rd string post player in Stratix, who's done a nice job, but clearly every time Perkins is in there, he is posted up and trying to get the basketball. 4.5 to go. A 9-point Buffalo lead. Nice drive to the basket that rolls off for McGill. Then there's Perkins with a rebound, but a steal and a basket by Aaron Cook, and he's got 5 in a row. And it's a 7-point lead.
You got to credit Southern Illinois. There's no fight or no quitting their fight, and when it looks like they're out of it, both in the first half and the second half, they're able to claw back in and make it into a game.
Perkins pulls up off glass, off front rim, no good. Chance to potentially cut it to 4. Harris gets caught on a screen. Layup is no good. 11th rebound of the game for Perkins. Quick feed to Massenberg. CJ into the front court. Into the lane. Feeds Jordan. Little runner. Good.
That's a big shot right there. Southern Illinois had a little bit of momentum, could cut it into a 5 or 4 point game if they got that stop. So to draw the lead out to 9 is a big play here late in the game.
And a timeout called by Barry Hinson. Could have been could still be a critical moment in this game. There's a big steal. Southern Illinois making it tough, hanging in there. It's the Bulls by 9. Well, Will, because Southern Illinois is a team that works so hard and plays such good defense, they're going to be able to hang around in games. And then when the offense sort of finds its groove and there's defense leading to offense, that's why you get a tight game like this. McGill and Cook have been big key players in the second half here, and that's why they just haven't allowed Buffalo to pull away, which we've seen the Bulls do an awful lot in this 9-0 start to their season.
Yeah, that's right. Southern Illinois, they've let the lead kind of creep away in what we would think maybe not striking distance, but because they have their principal at the defensive end able to slow down the pace, they've been able to claw back in with some key offensive plays, but that's why it's a 9-point game here.
The Salukis shooting 55% from the field here in the second half, and that's a big reason why as well, too. They've cut down on the turnovers. They had a ton of them at the half, Will. I think they had 11 at the half, and 11 at the half, only 7 here in the second half.
Yeah, and the guy for me is Stradnik. I mean, he's the unsung hero for the Southern Illinois. When Pippen and Teak Bowl have been at the post, they haven't been performing as a team. And Stradnik, when he's been on the court, Southern Illinois is up 21 points.
And there was a turnover and a steal by Jordan, but knocked away, and a turnover by the Bulls. Jordan hit the court hard. Couldn't quite believe what happened there. He just kind of dribbled it off his leg, didn't he?
Yeah, Lloyd was able to swipe down at the ball and knock it off Jordan's leg. It's a good hustle play by Southern Illinois to get the ball back.
And again, that's what we talked. That's what you get from the Salukis. You're going to get nonstop effort and hustle. That's why they're going to be a team to contend with in the Missouri Valley Conference. Sean Lloyd thinking about it, gets a screen, drives on Perkins, loses it, regains it. And there's another one, an offensive foul drawn by Carruthers. Called on Aaron Cook, who's pleading his case with the official.
I mean, there's no doubt that this is frustrating for a guard. You're trying to get to the basket, and they're falling over, but it's the combination of the defensive player still being in pretty good guarding position and then the raising of the forearm. I'm not saying that that's a foul, but when the player falls over, the refs oftentimes going to blow the play dead, and the Bulls have gotten the benefit of those calls tonight. And
a foul again called on Cook as Jordan drives the basket. I think it's 6 or 7 drawn offensive fouls by Buffalo in this game.
Yeah, and that's what's, I mean, that's got to be in the scouting report. If you're playing the Bulls, you need to know that the guards are going to try and stay in front, and they're going to try and take charges, and you got to be smart about what you do, because as a player, you could get into foul trouble very easily, like Cook just did, because of those charges.
Yeah, that's his 4th, so he takes a seat on the bench. Devontae Jordan, who did not score in the first half, has 8 points here in the second half. Both free throws are good for the man they call Coco. Lead back up to 11 for the 14th ranked team in the country. Stratnick's tried to feed it down low, stolen away by Carruthers. To Jordan, alley-oops, layup is good for Massenburg.
That's Buffalo's comfort zone. Get stops and get out in transition, and when they do, it's fun to watch.
Lloyd puts it up and in. Just when you think Buffalo might be ready to kind of put one of those runs on to seal the game, Southern Illinois just won't let it happen. But they're running out of time with 2 minutes to go, down by 11 to Buffalo. Bulls looking for the season sweep of the Salukis. And they get it down low to Massenburg, and he can't hit the layup. And a nice block by Graves on the 3 by Lloyd, but the follow-up by McGill is good.
And Southern just does not want to quit, and that's what, you know, good teams and good coach teams will do, is that they will keep clawing until the horn goes and all 40 have been played.
So a timeout called by head coach Barry Hinson of Southern Illinois. You see it, 70-59 with 1:38 to go. The Bulls trying to maintain their 14th ranking. Obviously the new rankings will come out on Monday, and then it's a critical week for rankings and for lots of other things when the Bulls go to Syracuse and Marquette. Looking ahead a little bit, I know we're not done here yet, but looking ahead a little bit. All right, 70-61, as you see the score officially changed there. They were trying to determine whether that was a 2 or a 3 for McGill. But give me an early thought on the big week ahead for the Bulls.
Well, I think the first thing coming out of this game, we touched on a little bit, is that 2-3 zone that got thrown at them in the first half. The Bulls did not respond well to that. They struggled to shoot. They took a lot of contested shots, and they didn't get any shots to the basket. So they're going to have to figure out a way to get some momentum towards the basket, get the defense to collapse, whether that be the high post or drive. And they got 2 days to figure that out. Then they're going to go down the throughway. But it's a big week for them. 2 statement wins against high-profile brand names in college basketball. There's little time. Not often will UB be favored or ranked higher in those situations. They are on the road, and this is opportunity as a program to make a statement.
When was the last time, and we'll get the answer to the question as the week goes, when was the last time Syracuse hosted a non-conference ranked opponent when they weren't ranked in the month of December? That doesn't happen very often. We'll find out exactly when. That's Tuesday night's game that you'll see on ESPN2 and 8 o'clock tip-off at the Carrier Dome. Business still to be conducted here today, and that certainly helps. The drive by Jordan. back to an 11-point lead. And the foul is called on Buffalo. Will, it would seem likely if the Bulls figure out a way to win these two on the road at Syracuse and Marquette, we're talking top 10 team, right?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, winning on the road at Syracuse, not an easy feat. Going to Marquette and winning on the road is not an easy feat.
They're
so
21st in the country.
21st
Marquette.
in the country. So those are 2 wins that give you the opportunity to maybe jump a team and really legitimize yourself as a top 25 team, because some pollsters out there have seen these wins and they're like, okay, the Bulls are beating opponents, but West Virginia's not as good as they once were when they beat them, and some of these other teams are petering off after their win. So these are the statement wins that they need to go into conference play to potentially secure an at-large bid in the NCAA tournament.
I mean, there's still one top 25 voter that does not have the Bulls in his top 25. So there is still some convincing that needs to be done. And I think after this week, regardless of what the results are, this will be the week where everybody will know for sure, or not, frankly, if the Bulls are really for real as a mid-major.
Yeah, and then after that, they're going to have to quickly turn the page. Conference play starts, and at the end of the day, you're typically in a one-bid league, so your goal should be to conquer the MAC and win that league and get as high of a seed in the tournament as you can automatically.
Steal by the Salukis. Three-pointer from the corner, no good by Lloyd. Offensive rebound, ball fumbled around and regained by the Bulls. I think certainly what Gonzaga and Butler over the years have done has opened up people's eyes to mid-major basketball being at a top 25, top 10 legitimate level. Where the Bulls fall in that remains to be seen. We'll know the answer to that when this week is over, but I do think that has changed some thinking that it's not all about the Big Ten, the SEC, the Pac-12, and the Big 12.
Yeah, and the way to build a successful team or successful program has sort of changed over the years. The high majors, the Kentuckys, the Dukes, it's recruit the one and dones and coach them in such a way to win. Maybe have a couple senior leaders on the team. Mid-majors, they can develop players. They can have 23-year-olds going up against 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds. So that's why Gonzagas and Butlers were able to build success with their programs, and that's what UB has to build that success. They have Nick Perkins, CJ Massenberg, Devontae Jordan, Jeremy Harris, all upperclassmen who have been in the situation. They've been in the tournament. So they have the recipe to be a successful team, but only time will tell how they put it all together.
14 points in the game from Massenberg. He goes over the 1,500 career mark earlier in the game. He's within range now of moving up to 5th on UB's all-time scoring list. That will likely happen on Tuesday night against Syracuse. What an outstanding career it has been for the leader of this team, CJ Massenberg. Layup by Lloyd is good. Timeout with 25.3 to go, an 8-point Buffalo lead. Well, this was a kind of gutted out, workmanlike, assuming that the Bulls hang on here, victory for Buffalo. We talked about the crazy runs. We talked about how Southern Illinois would not go away. And then even in the half, when the Bulls started on a 22-9 run in the second half, Southern Illinois wouldn't go away. As you look at what faces this Buffalo team, not just in the next week, then one more non-conference game, and then as we talked about, they happen to open up with maybe the two other high-powered teams in the MAC in Eastern Michigan and Toledo. That's a pretty tough couple of road games to start with.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the schedule, you see 5 road games coming up. Now, the next 2, that's going to be tough, right? You're going to 2 high majors. We talked about that. Then they come back. Canisius, crosstown rival, not a far commute, but that's right after the holiday break, so they're going to have to be sharp and ready to go for that one. And then you have 2 tough road games in the conference, teams and programs that know how you play, how you like to play, and you've controlled the conference in that the at-large or the automatic bid the last 3 of the last 4 years. They want a piece of you.
And Toledo was the team that UB defeated in the MAC championship game last year as well too, so you know there's some motivation on the Rockets side. So Nate Oates will have some work to do. He and the staff of Brian Hodgson, Jamie Quarles, and Jim Weitzel, along with Adam Bowman. He'll have the guys ready. There's no doubt about that. And it's going to be a fun week. So much fun stuff going on here at UB. We talked about the women's basketball game against 11th-ranked Stanford on Friday, and then the football team in the Dollar General Bowl in Mobile, Alabama on Saturday. So fasten your seatbelts, Bulls fans. Going to be a wild ride for the next week. Massenberg trying to dribble this one out here. It's not the typical 18-point on average victory for Buffalo, but anybody that knows college football, college basketball, knows Southern Illinois is a tough opponent, and it winds up with a 73-65 win, the 17th straight win at home for Buffalo, and they move to 10-0 on the season. Will and I come back for our post-game show right after this. It's another Buffalo victory. More to come on ESPN+. It's a 73-65 Buffalo win that improves the Bulls to 10-0 on the season, their best start in almost 100 years, and their 17th straight win at home. Welcome to our postgame show. Paul Peck with Will Regan, joined by Bulls head coach Nate Oates. Nate, this was at times sort of an odd game. Your team had a couple of big runs. Southern Illinois had a big run at the end of the first half, and like you kind of could never shake them. Take me through what you're thinking on the sidelines as this game continued to move forward.
I mean, we didn't shoot it well. That didn't help, against their zone. They went to that zone. I think we were up 28-10 or something like that, and then they went on a big run, like I think 18-4 maybe or something like that.
18-4, yes.
Yeah, after that. So, it's not a good sign going into the Syracuse game. So we didn't do a very good job against that zone. We didn't shoot it well. We got out-rebounded by 9. I thought really where we won the game is our defense. We forced a lot of turnovers, which turned into some transition buckets, which we needed. But we got a lot of work to do here in the next couple of days before we play at Syracuse.
Yeah, how do you remedy that with your zone offense and struggling behind the arc with the threes? What's the approach there?
I mean, we're going to have to spend a lot of time on our zone. I thought we got real passive against it. I thought first 3 times they went zone, we never got a paint touch. We took threes. We took some bad contested threes. The only time after they went zone that we actually scored against the zone was when Carruthers drove in and got fouled. So then early in the second half, I thought we did a better job attacking it off the dribble, picking up fouls, getting some guys slashing off drives. And we're going to have to work a lot in the next 2 days on our zone offense for sure.
I know something that makes you the happiest as a coach is when your team is working hard defensively. I think by our count, 6 or 7 drawn offensive fouls in this game between Carruthers and Jordan. How big are those moments for momentum? How big are those for what you want your team to be?
Yeah, Devontae took 3 on their point guard at their place. So when he got the one on the second possession of the game, I thought it was a huge, play because now the kid's going back to what, he took 3 on him at their place. So now he's going to be a lot less aggressive, makes us able to go out in some passing lanes a little bit more. We were able to force 22 turnovers, and I think it all started with the second play of the game when he took that charge. And, then they continued to take them. They took a few that didn't get called, but when they take as many as they do, they're going to get a lot of those called. So those 2 guys are as good defensive guards as there are in the country, in my opinion.
Well, it's one of the most anticipated weeks of the season for your team, and as a coach, you didn't want to think about it or talk about it till you got through today. So now as you head into this week, what's the message to your team? What are you thinking about with the incredible opportunity presented to your team in these next 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, we've got, a week that can really make our season right here. I think if we picked up these 2 wins, or even if we're able to pick up 1 out of the 2, I think we can give ourselves I think we get an at-large bid as long as we take care of how we're supposed to play in the conference. So, we're going to try to get them both. Syracuse is not easy. They've got some pros on offense. They got, that 2-3 zone, and we weren't good against it today. So we got a lot of work to do. We got to get some guys, mental mindset back right. We got out rebounded by 9 today. That's not good going into the Syracuse game. You got to rebound against them, and Marquette's got some big, strong athletes. So we got our work cut out, but I think we've proved we can play with anybody in the country, and we're going to go give it a good shot here for these 2 games.
All right, have fun this week. Nate Oates, Bulls basketball coach, following a 73-65 Buffalo victory over Southern Illinois. Time to welcome in our player of the game, 20 points and 11 rebounds. Yet another double-double for the big man, Nick Perkins. And Nick, particularly in that first half when the team went on that big run to kind of take control of this game, you played a big part of that. Were you looking at the fact that their big guys were in foul trouble thinking that I have an opportunity here?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, they best big, 33, Pippen. You know, he got in some foul trouble early, so they had some backups in there, and I think that was a good chance for us to, you know, get on the run. And also drew up some good stuff for me going at the rim, and it was just, you know, bread and butter.
Next game, Syracuse, 2-3 zone. They got some athletic bigs as well. What's your mentality going into that game, and how are you going to prepare for that?
I mean, we've been working on a lot of zone stuff in practice, probably about 30 minutes of it each day. So, I mean, we know it's going to be a big game. It's going to be a big atmosphere. We ready. Like I said, the stuff we've been working on, the new players that didn't drew up, I mean, we ready.
But maybe you didn't expect to see a little bit of zone in a game like today, so does that help, even though maybe you guys struggled a little bit with your outside shooting against it, but to be able to go back and look at what Southern Illinois did zone defense-wise, is that going to help?
Yeah, definitely, because, you know, Southern Illinois, I'll give them credit, they're a great team. And when they put us in that zone, you know, that set us up right for Syracuse. You know, Syracuse, they're going to get in that 2-3, they're going to play that zone, they're going to be really aggressive. And I think that kind of helped us tonight, getting in the zone, learning how to move. You know, everybody thinks you're supposed to shoot threes versus zone, you know, being able to move, pass through it, stuff like that. That's what's really important about it.
All right, have fun. Going to be a fun week for you.
Oh,
Enjoy
yeah,
it, right?
Ready. Oh, yeah, got to.
Yeah, Nick says he's ready. The Bulls are going to be ready too. Nick Perkins, our player of the game, 20 points and 11 rebounds in this one. Final word from you, Will Regan, on a tight game here today, but a tough one for the Bulls that they were able to gut out.
Well, it's another win for them in the books. You know, survive and advance is the name of the game in March, and they were able to do it here, winning the game. And they didn't do it the way they may have drawn up in practice, maybe not expecting the 2-3 zone, but they were able to figure out a way, and that's important.
All right, the 14th ranked Bulls will hang on to that ranking, maybe even move up as the weekend moves forward, and get ready for a big one on Tuesday night at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. The Bulls are 10-0. They've won 17 straight at home with 2 big ones on the road. Coming up Tuesday night at the Dome against the Orangemen. For the entire crew here and Will Regan, my name is Paul Peck. Have yourself a great afternoon. This has been a production of ESPN+.